From the shadowed peaks of the Salt Lake Valley to the mist-covered banks of the Hudson Valley and all across the globe, the signal drifts through the night. This is Midnight Signals. Now, here are your hosts, Sergeant Shenanigator and Alien Mike.
Alien Mike, what's going on tonight, man?
Hey, brother, another day. Paradise, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, it looks like we got Mama Shenanigator checking in with us tonight.
Yeah.
And Linux user NC7 again. Always happy to see both of them. So
I'm trying to get my chat to pull up, and there we go.
So before we start, we just want to thank you guys. We are truly humbled to actually hit 100 subscribers on this channel. That is for two guys that started out thinking maybe we'll get one or two.
Yeah.
Audio's not working. That's not good.
Wait.
Mama Shenanigator, Can you hear us?
Steve, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Let me send this out real quick.
Hold on.
All right, so we're going to keep talking here.
Nadine, can you hear what we're saying?
That's not going to be good if there's no audio. That's going to be a really boring podcast.
Okay, Nadine, can you hear us? Mama
Shenanigator can.
So I think it might just be on Linux's side.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, we'll keep chatting. They can get it fixed. You said it perfectly. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes. I expected, honestly, not this many followers for quite a while.
A few family members and some friends. That's all I was ever expecting.
Exactly.
And now we're at 100, and we hit 100 last night as we were going over show notes. And so thank you. You guys are truly amazing, and you're the reason we keep coming out here and doing this.
Yep. I just got a message from someone that's watching and says they can hear us just fine. So Linux, I think it might be something on your end. Lola, how's it going? It's good to see you here.
Audio good now. Perfect. All right. We're all back up and running.
Yeah. I thought it was funny, Steve, when you had messaged me 2 days ago, I think it was, and said, let's strive to get 100 by the end of the month or the end of next month or something like that. And then you text me and was like, yeah, we already hit it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
We hit 3 extra subscribers to put us at 100 in one day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys are watching online. That also means people are tuning in when we're not live. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much. And with that being said, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. And just a reminder again, starting February 6th, we're going to have a live episode, and then we're going to switch to live every other week so we can research more. But there will be content posted every week.
Every week. Yep.
So you will see us. We're just going to be live every other week.
Yep. And
we still feel like we're doing a disservice by not being able to research as much as we'd like to.
Oh yeah. Life gets in the way, as everybody knows, and trying to do, I mean, if this is the only thing I had, I could sit in my room all day long and do this.
Oh yeah. If this were a paid gig, I'd never leave this computer screen.
Nope. I would sit here all day long, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. So not until one of us hits the lottery.
Yeah, I know. I keep playing it.
Yeah, one of these days.
So before we continue, for everybody that's in the wake of this storm, please stay off the roads if you can.
Yes.
Don't get out there and be a hero trying to shovel 1, 2, 3 feet of snow at one time. This is going to be a massive snow with Arctic temperatures. So stay home, stay safe, and stay warm. And tune into our previous podcast and watch them.
Yep. And I got to say, Steve, as you know, I am very envious of that. Sitting here, Amish Shenanigator knows, she posted about it. What the hell is going on with Utah? I don't understand. There's no snow.
I stood out on the porch today trying to blow everything west to see if I could get some of it to you, but apparently I'm not as big of a blowhard as people say I am.
Yep.
So now we got the all the good stuff out of the way. We can get to the fun stuff.
Let's do it.
So tonight I was going to do an introduction on what we're doing tonight, but it really doesn't need an introduction. I mean, this is the Philadelphia experiment. This is one of the largest military conspiracies that have been around since pretty much the U.S. had a military.
Yep. It was definitely an interesting thing to research. It was a lot of fun. So
oh yeah.
We'll see where we go from present. Sakona plays.
Yes, there's one that definitely needs to play safe this week. You guys stay warm and safe down there, and once the storm's over, go out and build some snowmen. But until then, stay inside, stay warm, and stay safe. Yep. So, for those who don't know, the Philadelphia experiment was a ship in Philadelphia that they were doing another experiment on called degaussing, which was trying to keep the new mines that Germany had created that would explode. They were the inventors of the magnetic mines. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to come up with a way to not become an invisible ship, but to become invisible to the magnetic mines. And that was the degaussing. And they did this through generators inside the ship and coils wrapped around the ship to try and confuse the mines.
Right. Now, here's a question for you. I read on a few different places that said, one, it was the coils wrapped around the ship, around the hull. Mm-hmm. And another one that said it trailed from the ship.
I've read both, and I don't know which one to believe, but I do know in some of the pictures I've seen, they had coils, but they were wrapped around the top of the ship, not in the water.
Right, and I've seen.
But I'm not sure if those were communication coils for shipboard communication or what it was. So it's really hard to find out exactly what degaussing was and how it worked.
Yeah, I tried, even with all those links that we went through, I tried finding all that out, and I couldn't get a definitive answer on it. So
that was you.
That was me that wrote that.
Sorry, I meant to click that one. So the degaussing, that is 100% fact, 100% true. That experiment was really going on. And what had happened was they were going into the next phase of testing. They turned the generator on, and all of a sudden, they said a greenish glow started appearing around the ship.
Like that came up through the water, right?
That came up through the water. And inside this mist, it's depending on which story you read, there was either just the mist that was green, or there were like lightning bolts that were inside the mist but weren't escaping the mist. Mm-hmm. And then the ship disappeared from the Philadelphia harbor.
Yep.
And in a split second, it appeared in Norfolk Naval Base down in Virginia, but it appeared 10 minutes earlier than when it disappeared. It was there for what, 10 minutes, Mike?
Yeah, it was so it left Philly, got down to Virginia 10 minutes later, was there for 10 minutes, and then when it left there and went back to Philly.
Yes.
And so it ended up, I think they said it was a total of like 20 minutes had passed, but it ended up only being 10 minutes from the time it disappeared.
Yes. So it's and again, this is I'm going to be honest. I am going into this as a non-believer, and at the end, we'll see which way I lean.
And I went into it not 100%, but damn close to a believer that something like, that it did happen, but maybe not the way that they say it happened.
Okay. Well,
Now
at
now
the
I
end,
don't know.
we'll see which way we lean.
There we go.
So, degaussing 100%. That is a fact, and honestly, they are still working on things like that now to try and make ships undetectable to magnetic mines that, believe it or not, are still out in the ocean from World
yeah.
War II.
Oh yeah. Now I may shut me up and stop me if I'm getting ahead of myself, but wasn't there someone involved in the degaussing that wanted nothing to do with it because of the
Yes, there
effect it
was.
was going to? Is
Yep.
that going to come later?
That's coming right now.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the military had reached out to Nikola Tesla to see if he would be interested. And originally he said, absolutely, I am all in. But like Montauk, the problem with degaussing and throwing that much electricity around a ship is it would cause nausea, headaches, vertigo. And when Nikola Tesla found out that they were going to have people on board, he said, nope, I'm done, washed his hands and walked away. So they reached out to Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein said, I will give you my theories on how this would work, only because it is here to try and save lives. But Albert Einstein did not want any of his theories to be weaponized anymore.
Right.
I mean, he already had a bad experience from another project that was going on that was later used. And he'd walked away from that one too because he didn't want it to be military.
Right.
But he gave the Navy the theories and how it could work and stepped away.
Okay.
So there are two top scientists that were working in the degaussing of the ship.
Real quick, is anybody else hearing clicking going on in the background, or is it just me?
I'm not hearing anything. Anybody out there hearing clicking in the background?
It almost like tapping. It might be on my end. It distracted me for a second, so I just want to make sure. Okay, keep going.
Right.
It's totally fine. Okay, Tesla. He declined. Oh, where are we at? I'm trying to read the notes here.
Albert Einstein, like I said, he didn't oversee anything, but he worked with the U.S. government, helping them with electromagnetism and his unified field theory. Okay, Superwoman hears it.
Yeah, that is so strange.
Huh.
I don't. Weird.
Great.
Anyway,
we've got the NSA listening again. We're being bugged.
That was my first thought when I heard it. Was like, yeah, here's a phone tap, computer tap.
Okay, so that is the story, kind of the Philadelphia experiment. The way it ends is when the ship came back, sailors were missing. Some sailors were actually reported being in and out of phase. So it's like they're not like the Star Trek
Yep.
transporter. They were
Mhm.
halfway between wherever and here. It's not the Gremlins. It's the CIA and the NSA and all the other IAs.
Yeah. All those 3-letter agencies.
Yep. If you
Oh
hear a
shit.
loud knocking on the door and screaming downstairs, they've come to get us. That's why we do this in two separate states. One of us has a chance of escaping.
It ain't gonna be me, dude. I'm old, broken, and crippled.
You and me both. So anyway,
Anyway,
they come back. They're some sailors are completely gone. They're not even on the ship anymore. And some are in and out of phase, like they're in between dimensions. And the scary part is some have been fused into the ship itself, but not like they were slammed in. More, oh, I hear that. My wife just got home and Zena's going crazy downstairs.
I can hear her too.
Yep. So they're fused into the ship, but
Right.
at the molecular level. Again, the Star Trek theory, they
Yep.
were transported back onto the ship, but missed the transporter pad and ended up in the bulkhead. Some of them
Right.
were their arms and legs. Some of them, their heads were in the bulkhead.
And now I could have probably missed it, but when they came back and they were, fused into the bulkhead, were they still alive?
Some.
That's what I thought. Now, this is the part that really, this was the initial part where I'm like, okay, that just seems a little odd because to me, that would make bigger news than what it did. Like
Yeah.
I feel there would have been more research on that.
Well, that kind of gets into something we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But here's the problem with the story so far. This wasn't reported in 1943. This was reported in the 1950s. The story started with Carlos Allende.
Yeah.
So Carlos Miguel Allende was a man that had handwritten letters to astronomer and author Morris K. Jessup, claiming he was a witness to the USS Eldridge. Now, his story is he was on the smaller ship on a merchant vessel that was next to the Eldridge.
So he watched it all.
So he watched it all. He saw the ship disappear. He saw it come back. He could actually see people fused into the bulkhead.
The green mist and all.
Yep. But the problem is on that merchant ship, he's the only one that saw it. Nobody else ever came forward.
Yeah, and you'd think that more people would have said something. You brought up a good point earlier. It's easy to shut up sailors on a naval ship, get a dishonorable. You're crazy.
Yeah. And they didn't even do the dishonorable. Yeah, according to the story, they were all honorably discharged, but they were honorably discharged mentally unfit for duty. And by adding that mentally unfit for duty, now no matter what they say, nobody's going to believe them because they're crazy.
Yep.
So that was the way the military would shut you up back then.
Yeah, but geez, well, I don't know what the hell that is, but that's driving me up a wall now.
I honestly can't hear it.
I have no. It's when you talk. That's when I'm hearing it. Say something.
So the NSA is bugging me.
It's always right after you start saying something.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, let me mute mine. I don't know. So here's a good question for you.
Okay.
Now, we know the technology, or we know that they had the generators on board, in the bottom of the ship that they used for the mines
Yep.
to run that. So have we found out any technology of what technology did they use to make it disappear? Did you find anything on that?
Every story that I heard, every video I watched, every paper I read, it was accidental. It wasn't something they were trying to do.
That was a question I got, and something I had been thinking about for a while. Was I tried to find out, other than the generators that they use to disrupt or change the electromagnetic frequencies to escape the mines, what made them go invisible? And that's something I could never figure out.
Yeah. Every last episode I watched on it, it was accidental. So now with that,
welcome,
Mom, Mrs. Shenanigators with us.
Well, it's about time you joined us.
Yeah, she just got home from work, so she's probably cold as can be.
What is the temperature there right now?
21 and dropping fast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think tonight they're saying 4 with a wind chill of -9.
And we're at 37 right now.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I am. Oh, let me try something. Wonder.
Yeah, because I got a message saying that the ticking can be heard.
How about now?
Now I don't hear anything.
Okay, this is going to freak you out. I just shut down the government archives page.
Hold on. Now I'm hearing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is. It makes no sense. I've got nothing else running up here.
No, the only thing I have open is Riverside. And then I've got open our outline.
Yeah, but if it's coming from me, it's got to be on my end. And I see absolutely nothing.
And then I've got my phone link open, which is always open on my computer. Let me. Yeah. It went away and now it's back. Oh, well.
Hey, I guess we just keep going.
Hi, NSA. Hi, FBI.
Yeah. Yeah. I am currently in Phoenix, Arizona, and Alien Mike is in Anchorage, Alaska. Come find us.
There we go.
I have Carlos Allende. He writes a bunch of letters to Morris K. Jessup, who is an author that has written a book, a few books. One of them was on UFOs.
Right.
And one of the books he wrote, Carlos was writing notes. Tell me if I got that right. He was writing notes in the UFO book.
Yeah, he it was I can't remember the name. The case for the UFOs.
The case for the UFOs.
Yeah,
so he's writing notes, but he's writing it in different handwriting, different colored ink.
Yeah. Now, we discussed this a little bit. I think, well, one, the guy was weird, but I think he was doing that intentionally to try to get Morris to take it seriously. Like, look, something is going on that you need to check out, and to make it look like more people are talking about it.
I think the same thing. But to me, it makes no sense that he would do that, considering that he's going to send the book to Jessup.
Right.
It's not like 3 or 4 people send a book with notes in the margin. It was different handwriting, different ink colors in one book that was sent to Jessup.
Yeah.
But he also sent letters to the ONR, the Office of Naval Research, but not as detailed as the notes in the margin of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, the Office of Naval Research shows up at Morris Jessup's house and wants to know more about these letters that they've got. And Jessup says, I recognize that handwriting, and shows them the book.
Yep.
Now,
didn't it start out? You may have said this. It started out with just the letters first, right?
yeah, it started out with just the letters first,
And
then the
then
book came later.
okay.
So yeah, they had been corresponding for. It doesn't. I could never find out exactly how long, but at least for a couple of months.
Right.
And this whole time, Jessup is also working on his next book. He's working on the manuscript. So the Office of Naval Research is sitting at Jessup's house, and they say, "Hey, what can you tell us about these letters?" Because in these letters from Carlos Allende, it actually mentions Jessup by name several times. And Jessup says, well, I recognize the handwriting. And he brings out the book with the notes in the margin.
Right.
And he says, I think this is all from the same guy, Carlos Allende. And ONR says, oh, yeah, we know him. He's crazy. That should be the end of the story right there.
But it's not.
Except the Office of Naval Research took the book to further research it. Now, the Office of Naval Research would not do that
if nothing.
Yeah, if it was nothing. So something in those notes made them want to research more.
Yep. And
it was during this time that they figure out Carlos Allende is really Carl Allen.
Excuse me, I was just about to bring that up because he went by, like, all right, it says Carlos Miguel Allende. He was born Carl Meredith Allen, and then it changes. Like, so there's like 3 different names that he went by.
Yep.
And that kind of was intriguing to me. Was it he didn't like the fact that he had the middle name of Meredith, or was he just kind of nuts and couldn't pick one?
Both, probably.
But yeah, so back to what you're saying, they took the manuscript or the book.
They took the manuscript. Inside the manuscript and inside the letters, which they also took, the original handwritten letters that he had sent to Jessup, they took those as well. And inside those letters was the story of the Philadelphia experiment.
Right.
Now, if the Office of Naval Research is going to tell us this did not happen, why would they take that letter? I mean, if I'm any type of intelligence at all, and I see that, and I know for a fact there's no way this happened, why on earth am I taking that letter specifically?
Right.
And then using that with the notes. To this day, we still don't know everything that was in the notes because the book has never reappeared.
Nope.
But it is a fact that book was taken by ONR. Freedom of Information Act requests have also said, yeah, the book was taken. Here's the unclassified portions, but some of the stuff still remains classified.
And wasn't, or the book that also that Carlos had wrote in the margins, when they took it, they printed off copies. They made their own edition just for them. Just for
every last person within ONR got a copy of that manuscript.
And that was their quote unquote field manual. They sat and studied that thing. So again, why? If it was bullshit, none of this happened. Why?
Now here's where it gets fun. If you look at the Office of Naval Research, they are a research branch, a research portion of the U.S. Navy. But they're also the same as the Air Force Office of Special Investigation. They were basically the men in black of the time. they would be the ones that show up and say, hey, you witness this, you keep quiet, and nothing happens. And they pretty much told Jessup, you keep quiet about everything that's in this book. Well, of course, Jessup didn't. The Philadelphia experiment was leaked. You know, the story was leaked. Jessup had told friends and friends, hey, this is the story I got. But it was also going into his next book.
Yeah.
All right. So fast forward a little bit, and Jessup reached out to a friend of his, and this is 1959. And he's like, I have finally finished the manuscript. Do you want to meet for dinner? I'll give you a copy of it. You can read it over and let me know what you think. His friend's like, absolutely. Love to have dinner with you. I mean, they're friends. Of course they'd have dinner.
Yep.
He never showed up to dinner. So they started looking for him. They filed a missing persons report, and they ended up finding his car with an oversized hose attached to the exhaust and run into the driver's side window with towels stuffed in the window. And they're like, suicide.
Yep. Carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yep.
But and that goes into why the desert?
Yeah. The car was found out in the middle of the desert when Jessup has a garage.
And that's kind of where when that unfortunate type of thing happens, that's where people do it. In their home, in their garage, out of sight of other people.
Yeah.
So that makes me it makes me not believe that it was suicide.
To add to the story, the manuscript was never found. Some conspiracy theorists have looked at the photos that the police took and said that is so weird. The towels were stuffed into the top of the window to hold the hose in place from the outside. I mean, is it possible that he did it? Yeah, you get out, you put the hose in, you shove the towels in, you get back in, you shut the door.
But most people don't. Most of the time, it's not done like that. It's from the inside out.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have the hose falling when you're shutting the door as you get in and having to go through that whole.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the scene was clean with no footprints. So, how do you get out, hook the hose to your exhaust, bring it to your window, stuff the towels in, get back in the car, and erase all your footprints?
So, he's supposed to go out with his friend. We all know that part is true.
Yep.
Anybody talk to the friend afterwards?
Yeah, all the friend knows is they were scheduled to meet for dinner, and he was going to get a copy of the manuscript.
Do you think just your own opinion, do you think there's a possibility that it could have been the friend? He could have had some involvement in it?
Could it be? I mean, anything's possible, but why would the friend do it? And if the friend was going to do it, in my opinion, it would be to cash in on the manuscript, which was never published.
Yep.
It's never found. And the weird part is he's bringing a copy of the manuscript. He's not bringing the original, because why would you bring the original, hand the original to your friend and say, hey, read this and check it out?
Yeah.
Something happens to the friend, you've now lost years worth of work.
Yep.
The original manuscript in the house was never found either.
And that's just too fishy. So,
yeah.
I mean, again, how many times have you heard, agencies' involvement and stuff and cover-ups and disappearances and everything under the sun?
So, part of ONR, back before World War II started, I'm sorry, right at the time World War II started, they had actually taken people from the Office of Naval Research, which is a research section of the U.S. Navy, and created this really cool thing called the Office of Strategic Services, the OSS. And for those that don't know, the OSS later, after World War II, became the CIA.
Yep. And that kind of
Yeah. So
that's where I think, I mean, or why I say that their involvement and stuff. I mean, I wish I knew what video it was, but I was telling you earlier, I ran across a video of a former CIA guy that somebody was interviewing and said, here's all these things that people say happen, doesn't really happen. And the guy doesn't go into extreme detail, but he says, yes, they do these things because they can.
yep.
If they want to shut you up and they don't want something out, they're going to do it. But like you said earlier, why would you go through all the trouble of denying everything, but then take all the manuscripts? Take
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
You know, like I said earlier, if I tell somebody the truth on something, if they don't believe me, that's their choice. When people sit and try and beat it into you and do everything they can to try to prove that they're telling the truth, in my opinion, a lot of them are full of shit and they're lying about it.
Oh yeah.
So
it's to me it's weird that whether you believe in it or not, there's a whole lot of actual provable facts surrounding the Philadelphia experiment. Whether it happened or not, there's a lot of strangeness associated with it.
yeah, oh yeah.
All right. Here's the issue with the OSS during their formation in World War II. While our current CIA does have oversight, the OSS didn't. They were basically told when they created the OSS, win this war.
Mm-hmm. By
And
whatever
the OSS had a habit of hiding things. The OSS was around prior to Pearl Harbor. It had just been created. And some of the conspiracy theories are the OSS knew the Japanese were coming for Pearl Harbor and didn't tell anybody. I mean, is that true? I don't know. Did we know? Some say yes, some say no.
And
But it's the same as 9/11. We had phone calls about strange things that they ignored that led up to the attack on 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the OSS had no government oversight at all. They were just told, win this war. And when the Philadelphia experiment happened, all of a sudden, shipped records that we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes, ships logs were taken.
Yep.
From the USS Eldridge, ship's logs disappeared. Now, is that because of this story, or were they trying to keep the degaussing classified? Nobody knows. I'm sure if you asked the OSS back then, it was the technology they were using to try and basically demagnetize the ships.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've got nobody saying you can or can't do this, you can pretty much get away with a lot. And for ship's logs to be taken by another agency, official USS Eldridge ship's logs, if they're just taken, why?
Yeah, there's just I don't know. When you're looking at the logs, I went over those today, and there was things that just it did not make sense.
I
So
I wanted to share the logs, but there are thousands of pages that have been
yeah,
declassified. But still to this day, there are some classified or missing documents in the National Archives.
yeah.
So yeah, if you want to actually research the Eldridge, you can go to the National Archives website and research this. And I'll tell you what, and Mike will probably agree with me, it will give you a headache.
Oh, I started researching the deck logs and all that today. I did it for about an hour and a half, and there was just so much to unpack. Like it was unreal.
Yeah. So here's where the story kind of starts to fall apart, even though maybe not. Um, Carl Allen or Carlos Allende, whichever one you want to call him, said he served on a merchant vessel in the Philadelphia harbor that was in the bay next to the USS Eldridge. Since the documents have been released, the ship's log showed that it was in Brooklyn. It was in the New York harbor in Brooklyn. And they've also got logs that show it went out and did a compass calibration and came back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, the
Can they be forged?
100% they can.
Yep. I guess the question is, were they?
And that's the thing that gets me because, like we were talking earlier, when I mean, now it's completely different, but, before the invention of digitalizing everything, truckers kept logs of where they went, how long they were on the road, what they did, everything. But a lot of them also kept a fake logbook so that they could drive faster or longer, get paid more.
No, we didn't.
Exactly. I kept you out of it this time. But if it's something as simple as that, a trucker being able to do that, what's to say that the military isn't going to do that to cover their ass?
Yep.
I'm trying. I know I sent you on Facebook. I'm trying to find the link with all the logs in it.
Yeah, I know. I know you sent it, but
I just can't.
It was too close to the beginning of the show, and I couldn't go through everybody.
Yeah.
Go through everybody. Go through everything.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a true statement. No, we've never.
Yeah. Oh, here it is, right here. So let me.
Can you share it, or you want to send it to me?
Yeah, I'm trying to copy the link, and then I'll do that. There's the timeline with the logs or that's the timeline of everything. Is that what you wanted, or the actual all the logs of everything?
Oh, this is fine.
I think the timeline was the one that I wanted. It was more accurate with saying where everything was at. And then I will post that there.
Let's see if I can move this. I don't know if you guys can read this, but this is the actual copy of one page of the logs. And I believe this is the one where it was moored next to Pier J, berth 17, New York Navy Yard.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 6:30, they were underway steering down the East River.
Yep.
Passed through the submarine net, which, I mean, back during World War II, yes, we had submarine nets out there.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up
at
Lorne Bay, where they completed the calibration of the, I don't even know what the HFDF equipment is, but they probably do. YP 106 pulls up alongside Eldridge to pick up passengers. They finish compensating the magnetic compass, and they go back to, now they're going to Graveshead Bay, buoy 17A, 210 degrees, Fort Lafayette. So they're back in New York.
Yep. See, that's what really kind of confused me with part of it was when you start reading the logs, it says, okay, well, this is when it supposedly disappeared, and this is where it supposedly showed up. But the logs counter it and say, well, no, it was never in Philadelphia on that day and time. So
Yep.
how could this happen? So that's really what got me on it, is because you try to think from the perspective that, oh, it's the military, you can trust the military, but you know, you can't really trust the government in all things. So
I was not going to mention this, but I think it deserves mentioning. Just a quick sentence, and then we're going to drop the whole thing. What else is in the Navy shipyard at the time? Camp Hero and Montauk. Enough said about that. That will be for a future episode that we're already working on. But yes, it is parked right next to the Montauk, the naval base in Montauk.
yeah, so there's things that just are weird, that going in a believer and the possibility to now it's like, so that's something that me personally, I would have to do more digging on to get a very definitive answer on what I think.
Now, I know we were going to talk about Mr. Al Bielek, but Mike and I have agreed that he needs way more research. But he is part of this.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if you want to give a little history, that's fine.
Well, I was just going to say, not to give away too much, but we were going to do something at some point that ties him to everything. But I don't know now. There's, like you said earlier, when you watch his stuff, there are so many inconsistencies that, like, he can't keep his story straight. So I don't know what to believe.
To me, it's like our alien abduction episode. Al Bielek is Whitley Strieber, where I want a Travis Walton.
Yeah, they're great storyteller, but
the basis of his story, the what fits in that tiny little box, that stays the same.
Yeah,
it's everything else that starts changing,
and so that kind of takes away from the credibility, in my opinion.
It does.
I mean, I personally don't care to get into anything on Al Bielek right now. I mean, if you want to give a little bit, that's fine.
No. We are gonna. Trust me, Al Bielek will come back up.
Yeah,
there's no doubt on that. Even if it's just to tell, as this comment said, just to tell how skeptical we are. So either way, he is coming back.
If you watched our our Montauk episode, you'll see the connection. That's all I need to say.
Yeah, he was. I think he was very prominent in the Montauk episode, and I thought he was really reliable until this week when I started listening to back-to-back interviews from the man himself.
Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't just listening to podcasts and having them say, "Oh, he's a fraud." Right. I went straight to the source, and I'm like, "Wow, this changed from 5 minutes ago."
Yeah,
so I am kind of skeptical. But at the same time, would skepticism not be part of military intelligence? Hey, I'm going to tell you the truth, but I'm going to tell enough false stories within the truth to make you not trust me at all.
Yeah, it's. I enjoyed him at first.
And I don't know what you guys are saying. I served in the military. We were honorable, truthful. Oh, I can't even say
that. You and me both, brother. Military honorable.
Absolutely honorable. Up to a
If
certain
everybody's
level.
watching, then yes, we did good.
Yeah. Up to a certain level, but after that, you never know. Once you get into the Pentagon and you get into the E-ring, and then it kind of becomes questionable.
Yep.
But the boots on the ground, for the most part, honorable.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Brother Shenanigator showed up. That is how the CIA
Mr.
operates.
David. That is how the CIA
It
operates.
is 100% true. I mean, I've gotten into, as well as researching what we're doing, I am listening to a lot of ex-CIA operatives talk about their time in service. And I'll be honest with you, what they're saying scares the hell out of me.
I really need to find that episode that I saw, because you would know who this guy was once. He was an older gentleman, of course, but he had really gray hair.
I know exactly who you're talking about right now.
Lilith, hello. Good to see you. But yeah, he tells some crazy stuff.
And some of the things they're telling is like, I'm only telling you the stuff that I'm allowed to tell you, and it will scare you. And then you look at OSS, and there was no oversight. These guys have oversight. I mean, you get out of the CIA, you're allowed to publish a book, but first it has to go to the CIA for review, and they get to redact what they want to redact, and not even give you an explanation of why.
Yep. Well, it's like, I don't know if you finished reading the book, this one right here.
I am still reading it.
Yeah, but I mean, he goes over the same things. He's like, there are things that, there's things that he cannot say, and he won't say it because I can't get it. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. There's things he's not allowed to say. They had to go over everything and authorize it.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter if you're still an active member or not.
Just somebody. I'm pleased if you read his stuff. Don't think what I'm about to say is anything against him, because I love the guy. But Matt Best, in his book, "Thank You for My Service," the most hilarious military book I've ever read on the war on terror.
I don't even think I've heard of that one.
Matt Best is one of the co-founders of Black Rifle Coffee, and he's also the founder of Article 15 Clothing.
Yep.
But he said I was a U.S. Army Ranger. I later became a government contractor, and even though his book was kind of a humorous look, and it's 100% military wartime humor. So if you don't like hearing about body parts, it's not the book to read.
Yeah.
But even his book had to go through the Department of Defense to be screened so they can say, yes, you can say this. No, you can't say that. And he said several things were redacted. And even in his book, instead of the word, it will say redacted.
Yeah.
So he left the redacted in just to show you where they're taking it out.
Yep. If you want to listen to something where they talk about a lot of the crazy things that happen on that side of things, it's a podcast called Urban Valor. I've been listening to that, and it's all military people that have served in combat and other aspects, and it goes through all the things that have happened and what the different government agencies are doing and the things they won't tell you about. Like, they go through everything.
So yeah, you're looking at
Doggy, stop.
At things that are being published and put out on YouTube and other social media platforms now, and that the CIA, the DIA, NSA, they have redacted what they need to. But then you go back and look at the beginning of the OSS into the CIA. There was no oversight. If you wanted to write a book, they would just tell you no. And if you wrote that, that's on you.
Yep.
So
yeah, urban valor is great, Dina.
It leads me to it's hard for me to say with this story what's true and what's not based on what was going on at the time. Yeah. we were in the middle of World War II at the time. When this was going on, they were also working on the atomic bomb. There are a lot of secrets just within our own country, let alone what was going on in the war. So one of the big questions is, why does this story refuse to die?
No, go around.
And degaussing, some have said that degaussing would cause a greenish glow around a ship, but it would be a greenish glow from the magnetism that's going around the coils mixed with the mist of seawater.
Yeah, I was asking you about that earlier because I didn't see anything on why it would be green.
It's not even serious scientists that are saying that. It's just some scientists have said it's possible, but it's not like coming from, it's not coming from Michio Kaku, or not coming from, I screw his name up every time, Neil deGrasse Tyson, whatever his name is. It's not coming from well-known scientists. It's just coming from people that are studying this going, yeah, possible.
Come on. Yeah.
So, but this story has been made into, I think, 2 different movies, maybe 3. I know one for sure.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it, until I started looking more into it yesterday or the day before, that they had made a movie on it. And that was the one I think you were saying was from the 80s or.
Yeah, it was starring Michael Pear. I probably screwed his name up as well. But it follows the basic story, but then it goes more into the ship went forward in time to the 1980s, or the people went forward to the 1980s.
Yeah.
Kind of following along the Al Bielek story that we didn't want to really bring up. Kind of follows that, but not 100%.
Get down.
So, but the reason this story just keeps going and going and going is because you've got documents that disappear. You've got the involvement of, let's face it, basically Men in Black, the Office of Naval Research, the OSS, telling people to be quiet. You've got a strange death that occurred when this story was going to be published, which to me is really strange because the story's already out there. He told friends who told friends who told friends. So the story started growing before it even went into his manuscript. Why kill him if that's what you're trying to hide? Unless there was more in the manuscript that we don't know. And that's quite possible.
I definitely think there was more that we don't know. Again, back to what was said earlier, why would they take it? If there was stuff in it that if it was all stuff we knew, there would be no point.
Yeah. So that is pretty much what I've got on the Philadelphia experiment. And I'm going to ask you the question, since you got to ask me first last time.
I always go first.
How do you feel now?
There's things that I'll start with. Like I said earlier, I went into it believing in the majority of it, but then I kind of got to the point where there was too many things that just didn't add up to me. Like one, it just accidentally happened. Well, that's kind of I don't think something like that would accidentally happen. Used with the energy weapons. It's something to get a definitive answer. It's something I'm going to have to look into a lot more. I've saved all the links. Like I've started creating for every episode we do. I've started creating folders. So I put all the links in it, everything we talk about, and this is going to go right into that list. There's just too much going on. So right now I got to say I don't buy most of it. There's too many inconsistencies with it.
Okay.
Based on the evidence that we've presented.
Okay.
Now your turn.
I went into this 100% a non-believer. Now, do I believe the ship disappeared and showed up in Norfolk, Virginia 10 minutes before it disappeared and then came back? No. But I started leaning towards there's more to this degaussing than we know. There is something that happened to a ship, whether it was the USS Eldridge in Brooklyn or whether it was another Navy ship in the Philly harbor. There was something that happened. Only because you don't start sending ONR and OSS to investigate a story that they're saying, no, this never happened. Never. I mean, that's like sending somebody to, I don't know, send somebody to you because you wrote Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yep.
And me saying, oh, you wrote this book. Yeah, it's a very good fairy tale. I'm taking the book with me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't recall it being mentioned today, but look at all the people that were sick from who knows what, radiation poisoning and every other element that they have, went mentally nuts. Mm-hmm. Something happened, for sure something happened, because a ship full of people, I mean, aren't going to get sick for absolutely no reason, then not taking into fact the people that disappeared, what happened to them besides the two that, we're not talking about.
Do you
so something did happen.
Another reason I started leaning towards more like where you are right now, where I went from a non-believer to something happened, is over the years, nobody from the Eldridge really stepped forward and said, no, that didn't happen. The official stance from the government was it didn't happen.
Right.
But there were sailors on that ship.
Yeah.
Nobody even questioned them to say, hey, did this really happen?
Yeah. I mean, and all that adds up to why I think, do I believe the whole time travel and disappearing? No, I can't get behind that. But of course, something happened. What exactly? They definitely would have gone full steam ahead doing more experiments. Now, yeah.
If you were to look at a picture of the Philadelphia naval docks, there's a bridge that runs really close to it. If they would have actually traveled in time, somebody on that bridge would have went, hey, do you see that green glow? Where the hell did the ship go?
Exactly. I mean, the comment just above that one that Nadine had wrote, if they had done it, they definitely would have gone full steam ahead.
Absolutely.
Into doing more experiments. Now, while I 100% agree with that, didn't that, and this kind of goes off the rails a little bit, but this led into Montauk where they did that.
Yeah.
Not with ships, but
yeah. But in Montauk, if that really did happen, it was in a controlled environment where civilians could not see. you're talking about the USS Eldridge
in the middle of a harbor.
in the middle of a harbor where everybody can see it. And according to the story, they had just boarded the ship, which means loved ones were at the gate watching them climb the ramp.
Yeah. The thing that kind of threw me off in the beginning with it is, now this could just be the people that are making the videos or writing the articles, but at first it was, oh, it was just degaussing, and something crazy happened and we disappeared and ended up in Norfolk, Virginia. And then I've heard also that they were intentionally trying to do it so that they could basically cloak themselves against the Germans.
Mhm.
So that was one thing I can never get a definitive answer was it an accident, or were they doing the degaussing to hide from the mines, and then that led into them trying to do it intentionally to hide
Yeah.
from the enemies in the war?
Oh yeah. Yeah. If
So
if it happened, we would have sunk at the time. I'm sure they didn't
million.
know what $1 billion back then was, but
Yeah.
we would have sunk millions of dollars into research
Oh
to
yeah.
get all of our ships to be able to teleport from here to Germany to Japan, end the war a lot quicker. And I mean, first psychological operations. Can you
Mhm.
imagine being a German Navy commander and all of a sudden a battleship just appears out of nowhere in front of you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I know that the military has done research with that more recently. There's, I can't remember, it was tanks or something that they used. That it was basically, it was essentially they could change the camouflage on it to match whatever was in the background.
Yeah.
But that, was in the 90s.
What and
So
what the comment was there? That actually came to mind while I was researching was flight MH370.
is that the Malaysia Airlines one that disappeared?
Yes,
Okay, they still haven't found that, have they?
they have not.
And there was like 300 odd people on that plane too, if I
I
remember.
can't remember. I can't remember the total, but yeah, it was a full aircraft or almost full aircraft.
That'd be a fun episode to do.
So it would. Now here's why I started leaning more towards the center. Do I told you I don't believe the ship disappeared. There's no way you could pull that off without somebody seeing it.
Right.
Besides Carlos Allende or Carl Allen or whatever other name he went by, Meredith Allen.
Yep.
You couldn't pull it off. But what's to say something didn't happen inside the ship that they were experimenting with degaussing, and all of a sudden a scientist went, "Whoa, that's not what we expected."
Yeah.
Shut everything down, bring that back to, I don't know, Montauk, and start experimenting more.
Yep. And that's when we first, talked about this episode. That's what really made me want to kind of go into doing one on Just Al initially was, even though his stories kind of change, maybe he's the connection between it all.
Could be. I mean, I still would like to do an episode on Al Bielek, tell his story. Whether we find that his story, the basics of his story stay the same or not, we talk about the real Al Bielek who was involved in Montauk and the Philadelphia experiment, or we talk about Al Bielek, the nut job who was looking for his 900 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Well,
some of his stories are fascinating.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the one thing that really has gotten me, I guess, skeptical on the whole thing is when they said he had a certain name when he was in Philadelphia experiment. And then when he got to the whole Montauk thing, his name changed. Like he changed his name so that they wouldn't know who he was or something like that.
Yeah. And one of the interviews I heard was he was born in a certain year, but then his birth certificate was another year, and they had changed his name from this to this, and then he changed it again once he was here to Al Bielek. His story just kind of falls apart.
Yeah. And
but does the basics within the story stay the same? That's what I want to find out.
That's what I would,
Because I don't know. He has the knowledge. That's the scary part about him.
Yeah. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things was entirely based on Montauk. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the ending, I'm not gonna say it, but there's one line at the ending that is the absolute funniest line in Stranger Things.
Like the ending of the newest ending?
Yeah, the final episode. So, but for those that haven't watched it, I'm not going to give it away. But listen to the chief in the very final episode. When it's all said and done, he says something that is hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've watched the first part of the first episode, and honestly, I've heard people rave about it, and it just, this may be sacrilegious to say, but it looked fucking stupid. And I loved Stranger Things up until this new stuff. It just looks so dumb. I could not focus on it.
It's definitely not the first, second, or third season.
Yeah.
But as you get into it, the story kind of goes along with everything we've talked about. So it's worth continuing. But it's definitely not the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, and I know they changed, all of them grew up.
Yeah.
But everything I've heard, it seemed like the whole focus of the show seemed to change. And that's why looking at the, newest stuff, I'm like, this does not look that interesting to me. So I couldn't tell you anything that happened.
Yep. I would say don't give up on it. It does get better. I think Sue and I were both ready to shut it off like episode 2 or episode 3, but we stuck it out.
I'll give it a shot then.
But yeah, if you're expecting anything like the first, second, or third season, you're not going to get
it. Okay. Well, looking at everything on our list here. Well, I had it up. Now I don't have it up.
Yeah, I think we've knocked out the entire outline.
Let me pull up the outline real quick here.
While he's pulling that up, I hope you enjoyed our little 1-hour version of the Philadelphia experiment. It was a fun little deal to research, and I do want to research more.
It definitely was. I packed a lot into the last 2 days. I always start after our episode. We discuss what we're going to do for the following episode, and I immediately pull everything up. And then, of course, the week starts, and I get sidetracked with life. And so Thursday and Fridays, I jam as much as I can. And there was so much to go into this that we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg, I don't think. So once you start following all the connections, I tried really hard to stay on topic, and I just I couldn't.
That's why I went strictly off the outline.
Yeah.
There are so many different branches on this that you can do. We'd end up being here for 4 hours talking about every little deviation from the story.
Yeah. And I think the outlines work best now. You write them good. I'll pull it up. You pull it up, and we go off that. That'll help us stay on track.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And I will say, Alien Mike and I talked about this before we came on. The participation that you guys give us, that actually leads us in the direction too.
Yeah.
So
It's
the more you guys participate, we may have an answer to a question that you haven't asked.
yep.
Throw it up there. If we've researched it, I have no problem going off topic and following the direction that you guys want.
I agree because it makes it more entertaining, more engaging. I mean, like we talked about earlier, scripted videos, while some of them are nice, like when we were talking about not the Y Files episode, but the one after that, it was like he was reading a script.
Yeah.
And you get information, but it's not
During
interactive.
World War II, the U.S. Navy faced a lethal threat from German magnetic mines, which detonated when they. I don't ever.
That's what it is. And for something like that, I can only see us doing that on our little shorts that we put out or something like that, but
Yeah.
I can't do an episode like that. That's just boring to me.
Yep. So again, before we close out, thank you. Thank you for getting us to 100. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alien
Dina,
Mike, what we got going on next week?
Well, I was going to say, Dina, I believe you were the one that pushed us to 100. So thank you. Steve, when you mentioned that we had 100, I looked and Dina was the one that I noticed had just subscribed. So
thank you. Thank you to all 100 of you. You guys are all truly amazing.
So I have it on my phone here. So I was pulling up stuff on, let me pull it up again. Next week's episode that we had talked about, and just to put it out there, Asylum 49 in Tooele, but all the information I'm finding is just about the haunted house part of it, not the actual.
That's all I'm finding too. If that's what next week is, then we need to change that.
Yeah. So let me look at my calendar here. So it was that, and then Betty and Barney Hill. Now we have done something on Betty and Barney, although it was really, really short. I think, me personally, that's something that we need 2 weeks on because there's a lot that goes into it from the military and other aspects, military, paranormal, UFO, hypnotists, psychologist, everything that goes into it.
And thank you for spreading the word. Thank you. Much appreciated.
So before we decide, Steve, is there something in particular you want to talk about? Chat, is there something particular that you guys want to hear that you haven't mentioned? Nadine, I know we've written down what you have said, from Jeff the Talking Mongoose, which, Steve, I forgot to send you a thing on that. It was absolutely hilarious that popped up. But I don't know. I kind of want to pull away from you.
You mentioned something last week, the Lecter files.
The Certifiles.
The Certifiles.
Is that right?
Yep, that is right.
Nadine, is that okay? Then how about next week we do the Certifiles?
The Certifiles works for me. I happen to watch one of the videos on the Y-Files already on it, so I'm already ahead of the game.
Okay, well,
next week we're doing the Certifiles. And if there's nothing anybody else has, then again, thank you for everything. Thank you for 100. And we look forward to seeing you guys next Friday.
Next week. Yes, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, spread the word, hit the bell. Anything, bug me, text me, message me.
And for all of those in the path of this storm, hunker down, stay safe, stay warm. Make sure you get out to the grocery store, buy bread and milk.
Yep.
I don't know why, but sounds good.
Don't forget toilet paper and paper towels and rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. I mean,
If it does dump a lot of snow on you, please, please, please take your time shoveling the walks.
Yep.
Don't get out there and injure yourself. We want to see you guys all back here next week.
Yes. And all of those that I have contact with, you will be hearing from me this weekend, most likely. More than a few times to check on you periodically throughout the weekend to make sure everybody's okay. So
All right. If you got nothing else, Mike,
I've got nothing else.
you guys all stay safe, stay spooky, and know that we love and appreciate you.
I love you guys. Thank you.